There are a few tips from the old teacher back to you that you can use. Just don't tell the kids you're using this, but here's ideas. Number one, there are some predictables, Gino, of what does reduce kids' attention spans. So if you're aware of these ahead of time, they'll help. First of all, keep distractions as much as you can to a minimum. That means the door always slamming, the dog barking, things that you can reduce, because some of our kids are on edge as well as us. Keep your expectations realistic, because unrealistic expectations, meaning too high, escalates the worry, too low creates the boredom, and both of them reduce the attention span. Stress. All of our kids are stressed. They're a little more worried, and so you will notice that their concentration is going to be lower than it used to be. That's okay, and it's predictable. Watch the lack of sleep or the difference of sleep patterns, because that increases or decreases that attention span. And if your child had any kind of a learning disability or a challenge prior, it's probably going to increase as well. Now, that said, those are a few things. Now we can start with what are some teacher strategies you can use. And the first one is, prior to even starting the assignment, make sure each child has a clean, well-lit place to be able to work. It doesn't mean that every kid has to have a desk. Please don't go there. But it could be a table. And for children who have shorter attention spans, some gold mines is just a carrel that's a cardboard carrel that you can put just on both sides of them to block out the distraction. Make sure that you have each child already stocked up with their school supplies that they need, the pencils and crayons and paper, so they don't get halfway into the middle of it, I can't find my, and there goes the attention span as well. Other ideas that you may want to do is keep those other distractions, particularly 3 T's, watch out. And that is no texting when you're doing the homework. The phone goes out or off. The second thing is toys. For little ones, don't put the desk near the Lego box or you're going to really have a problem. And the third one is just look in terms of all those other things that you're trying to create. And that because it really does make a difference on a kid. Time management, keep it short and realistic, and then stretch it along the way. Now you're ready to get started, and here's some tips to get started. The first thing is what teachers do. The first thing, before they even have a kid open up a box or open up their drawers or open up their books, is figure out what they're supposed to do. So with older kids, it could be nothing more than a carrel, and a carrel or just an old white erase board, or it could be a chalkboard. And that is the first thing you do before you do anything, is write down the assignments of what you're going to do, put them in order, and then cross them off as you do them. Now, most of your older kids have already been trained on that, but let's go to the younger ones, because there's a couple of tips that are really helpful to you. Post-its can be a gold mine. You probably already have them. But you sit with a younger child and you just simply say, think about what are you going to do first, second, and third, or what are all the things you're going to do. Then you put them in order of what the child thinks he wants to do first, like reading, then I'm going to do my math, then I'm going to do my science. The best thing is now they actually make a little pocket pack that he can take anywhere and everywhere. And remember, he takes them off as he does them. 4-year-olds, they're not too early to start. And what you do with that little guy is you create a play plan. This will give you 10 minutes, so just go for the 10 minutes, but that's where their attention span is. Preschools are using this, where you sit down and you say, what's the first thing, Sammy, you're going to do? Now, he's not writing this, you are, but he says, I'm going to play blocks, or I'm going to do my ABCs. He holds it. It becomes what's called a mediator. He walks around with it, and as soon as he gets off track in his attention span, you say, remember, what were you going to do first? It goes right back to it. These are the things that can help stretch a child. And now you're ready to start. And there's some ideas you may want to begin with. First of all, because our children are a little more stressed, and that's going to be normal, would you encourage them to do the hardest thing first? Why? Because they're thinking about it the entire time. And once they get it done, Gino, oh, life is so much better because I'm done with it. Chunk the tasks. For, again, children with shorter attention spans, or they're so worried about being perfect, and they're looking at that whole paper of, I can't do them all, then just do the first row. And you can even fold it. When you get done with the first row, then let's do the second row. A ruler can really help. Or you can even go, let's fold it in half, do this part, then this part, and this part. The whole thing you're doing on study skills at home is trying to stretch independence, learning, and teach some study skills along the way.